Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome back to part 2 of my United States of America campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. Just took one of my signature naps. That's where I lay down to try to sleep, and then nothing happens, and eventually I just get up. So feeling good. Now, we did all the reading. Let's get started on some stuff here, yeah? Now, if I remember correctly, there was like a helicopter. Yes, here we go. We had like a helicopter thing going on here. Let's improve, technological breakthroughs allow for the specialization of the helicopter into a battlefield role akin to that of close air support. Let's do that. I also want to work on some aircraft. We've already got the jet engines. Let's see here, wait a minute. Light aircraft, close air support, multi-role combat aircraft. I think we might just kind of do this straightforward, go with the jet fighters. Well, it looks like we already have some. We can eventually get stealth technology. Isn't that fun? Tactical bombers, strategic bombers. Yeah, I'm not interested in any of this. How about over here in engineering? Boy, this is a lot more stuff than when you're a warlord in Russia, huh? A lot of this stuff is just already pre-researched. Just, what am I supposed to do? Construction. We got military construction here. We got industry. I think we're gonna pass on the military construction, at least for right now. Let's work on civilian side, maybe. Vertical versus horizontal. Yeah, horizontal is the way I always like to go, aka dispersed. What do we got here? Industry stuff. Here we go. Aerosol organization. Might do some of this. And what land doctrines do we have here? Oh, it looks like we already have combined operations pre-researched. Well then, let's just go with continuing with that. Remember, this is not that. It's not that much of a big deal. We're doing just we're focusing stateside mostly in this run. There will be wars, don't worry, but keeping it stateside for the most part. Let's build up Texas first. See, free civilian factories. We still have more. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna institute an enormous coast to coast infrastructure program before anything else. I guess we'll kind of prioritize stuff that has resources. Yeah, I'm just going to do this until I think of something else to do. Here we go. Get the Carolinas. Come up here into the teeny northeast areas. Let's get Connecticut and Rhode Island. Is that everything? Notice we have a piece of the Virgin Islands down there, or what you call it, the Bahamas. Okay, is that everything? Did I miss anything? I'm so sorry if you live somewhere that I missed. Oh, there you are, Delaware. I thought I clicked you, but I didn't. Okay. Yeah. That's what we'll do until I think of something else. Free dockyards, quite a lot. Same with military. And actually, no, not that much in terms of the military factories. Let's filter... yeah, just take these out. I want to work on... Jet fighters. Where are the choppas? Get me to the choppas. I'm not seeing them here. Okay, is that like under ships or something? Is it an armored vehicle? What? Okay, so it's considered to be infantry and artillery equipment. Okay, whatever. Let's get a scout heli going, I guess, and a transport one as well. Again, just like to think of something better to do. Some convoys and some get a cruiser as well. Something like that. Okay, yeah. Just so I can figure something else out. Okay. Here we go. The USA's focus tree, which is definitely going to change as we go through. Looks like we don't have much of a choice for... Oh, this is already automatically completed. Senator Nixon has proclaimed President Nixon. It's time for a beautiful new decade for America. This may be the most decisive one in American history. All right, then. So then... What do we want to do here? It looks like we have the campaign trail. What's this exile? Will be abandoned if country is in crisis. They can't lick our dick. Not without our consent. Get our hands dirty. Okay, it looks like some of this stuff has already been taken, actually. So we've gotten our hands dirty. Steal files. The juiciest blackmail. Everyone I don't agree with is Hitler. Turn the people. Secure funding. Okay, so clearly no point in working on any of that. We have the Cold War. We've done containment theory. So, smashing the crest wave. Okay, what I'm already seeing kind of just broadly is it looks like on the right is we start getting ready to face Germany and the Nazis. Remember, Hitler's still in charge over there. And over here is the Japanese side. Okay. When he wrested a giant's prize cattle for his 10th labor, Hercules journeyed further westward than the borders his map detail. Before returning to Mycenae, he erected 2 mountain-sized pillars where the narrowing coast met Poseidon's boundless blue dominion. Inscribed upon these pillars, demarcating the world's seeming edge, were the words, "Ni plus ultra," no further beyond. The erudite can draw parallels between the Japanese Empire's conquests and the Greek hero's 10th labor. Like Hercules, its armies and fleets ventured towards the continent's westernmost edge to wrest wealth and glory from Europe's giants. Like Hercules, they halted at a body of water, in this case the river Ganges, and ventured no further. But unlike Hercules, they feasted merrily on their spoils for year hence. Now even grasping its empire's edges has become a Herculean labor for Tokyo's corpulent digits. Nice. This has been a good vocabulary usage in this mod thus far. India and Southeast Asia have turned into cracks. So basically, we could start to do some work in India, recognizing the Republic. So then the borders, let's just kind of review this here real quick, what our enemies look like. So this is the Co-Prosperity Spear and the Einheitspact, whatever the heck. So basically, German domination, Japanese domination. And yeah, this is the limit. So I guess we work with India in this situation. That's always fun. I like playing around in India. We could, let's see, work in the Philippines, work in Indonesia, the fighting Filipinos and such. Very interesting. So basically we could industrially support India, or we could prepare for revolts in Indonesia and Filipinos, including that we're going to be funding communists if we go that path. Okay, interesting. What's going on in with the German half? We have to dismantle her sphere. South African plan, yes. This world's Vietnam is my understanding. Protect our interests. Look into the reformer. We must pass a bill and secure the support of Congress before we can directly support our favored candidate. Okay, so this is gonna be if because Hitler's gonna die and then Germany has its civil war. So here we can recognize Speer. The noted reforms may ultimately be a Nazi, but no better opportunity to steer Germany from its excesses exists than his ascension as the Reich's new Führer. If nothing else, Speer seems more receptive of peace and cooperation than Goering, Bormann, and Heydrich. Okay. Let's see, helping out friends. This will be like the English underground. So again, yeah, proxy wars, Norwegian resistance, and whatnot. Yeah, I think that happened during my Sablin campaign. Norway went democratic, and everyone was like, democracy in Europe? I don't think so. All right, so then, and it seems here we've got, let's see, splendid isolation. Nixon has opted to withdraw from the global stage. I don't think we're going to do that. So we've got civil rights dilemma. The Civil Rights Union is tearing apart this nation. We will need to respond to this crisis if it means keeping America stable. 3 sides have come out, one calling for the immediate move towards equalization of all races, one demanding the government immediately stomp down on these protesters and activists, and the president's faction hoping to ride the wave until the situation calms down and a path is more clear. Okay. And I believe there's midterms, by the way. So we can't do this. We must begin full-scale integration immediately. No, we're not allowed to. It says toes in the middle line has already been completed. Oh, so we can bounce around. They have a dream. We can't take this because we don't meet the requirements. So we can't actually do anything in this middle path right now. Okay. All these problems started when some fucks in the RDs decided to stop listening to reason. We must exert complete control over the party so that none of those fucks can screw this up again. Fun stuff. Well then, I guess we don't have much of a choice but to get working on who we are going to fuck with. I think South Africa I want to focus on, because in the game I played, the war just went on and on and on and on and on without end. Let's try to, fix that. So we're going to try to support the South African rebels ahead of time. Cracking the steel curtain. In the war's aftermath, Germania drew a line hugging the stretch of Europe's coast between Norway's fjords and the Straits of Gibraltar. Along its lengths rose a string of watchtowers, sea walls, and concertina wire, their seams held together by trillions of Reichsmarks and the Fuhrer's Aryan will. This stranglehold over the old world goes by deceptive names like the Einheitspact and Fortress Europe. The free world calls it for what it is, a steel curtain. The Volkshael would have one believe that the steel curtain is as the Gibraltar Dam, impregnable, insurmountable, everlasting. In truth, the curtain is pregnant with rot, surmounted by power struggles, and frail on its deathbed, much like its architect, Hitler. Subtle blows can make gaps out of its rustiest sections. There's Liberty's torchlight can filter back into the continent afresh. We can only hope to defeat Germany by dismantling her sphere. So let's get on that. There's some great verbiage, like I've said, in this mod. Very active language. The big red one is an infantry division, but it has the tank logo. You want to run that by me again? Is there tanks in it? Yeah, everything's mechanized. The whole friggin' army. Let's take a look at this airborne division here. So the airborne, what kind of equipment do they use? I'm not familiar with how this works. So yeah, a bunch of, we got M1 Grands, M2 carbines, M14s, kind of a mix. There's the anti. Okay, so transport, they use Hueys, Bell Hueys, and Chickasaws. Is it just transport guns? Or transport helicopters? Let's go back over here real quick. So I guess it's, yeah, right now the Chickasaws are better, but then you could improve them. But like kind of just, okay, yeah, so the Huey is what we're using now. But I want to get the Cobra up and running. So yeah, we've got range and whatnot. So I guess, oh, you know what it is? I think it's that the transport helis are what's used for these air divisions, and then helis like you put in airports. That's what I'm understanding right now. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to be researching them both. Let's take a look at the entire army again. So we've got mostly infantry divisions, it would appear. Yeah, there's the 101, the Screaming Eagles. Okay, we have them, the 82nd. Okay, naturally. So here's our, what kind of commander we got here? Maxwell Taylor, Sessions, Chapman. Who's our infantry guy? Or I guess actually no, armor is who we should go. Okay, we'll go with Spavey, just until I think of something better later. Who's our field marshals? We got Westmoreland, of course, that makes a lot of sense. Lemnitzer, Earl, Offensive Doctrine, Aggressive Assaulter, Fast Planner. We might actually wait until we send him down here. Why shouldn't he run things down in Vietnam? Plus Lyman has, we can put more max armies in there with him. Okay, so what do we got here? We got our Marines, the old breed and whatnot. Do we have a invader of some kind? We got a commando. Let's see, air assault. Nah. Here we go. Beach, of course. Let's see. Yeah, that's still all the regular infantry. So wait, what's the difference between those two? We have mechanized divisions and regular infantry divisions. So the mechanized are with the APCs. Okay, so then let's just to kind of maybe distinguish things a little bit. We have something that looks a little better. Or, I don't know. Let's, okay, the regular infantry divisions, let's just change their... Wait, no! Whoops, almost disbanded, everybody. Okay, so they're fast, motorized. Let's, I don't know, give them the Spade. And then the mechanized or the true, like, breakthrough type ones. Okay. What else we got here? We have no divisions in basic training right now. How many airbornes can we do? Several. I like to see it. Though we don't have the divisions for that. Let's see. We got the mobile. No. How does this work? Armored. Infantry. So they're considered infantry. Yeah, these are going to be very good. They get lots of bonuses moving around because of the helicopters. I'll probably try to make this a 20 width then at some point. So I guess in the meantime, nope, we're already out of infantry equipment. So, oh well. No template for our improved scout helis. We'll still keep making them. We might want some later. Okay, I think we can finally unpause. Yeah, we're unpaused. Insufficient resources, what do we need? A little bit of chromium, right. Well, we gotta trade that with the Union, right? Nope, our our influence is far too low. Okay, well then why even bother with that? Oh yeah, Cuba under Castro, who we totally are supporting in this timeline, I think. So, yeah, over here we have Hitler, as you can see, in charge. Okay. What has this gone over? I don't remember this national spirit. Cannot train units, disband units, or edit templates. Like an unstoppable wave guided by the righteous destiny of the Aryan, the Wehrmacht stormed over Europe in the Second World War. The lowly were subjugated, the Germanics elevated, and the Reich's rightful territories conquered. For a while it seemed as though nothing could stop the German god of war. Rot soon infested the Wehrmacht, where once glory reigned. If it wasn't for the few bright minds in it left, the Reich would have collapsed in the West Russian War. With mad bombing runs and boundless conscription, it desperately clings to relevance. But there's no other way around it. The god of war has gone over to the other side. Huh. Army professionalism monthly change. Is that what this is? What they're calling that? I don't know. Well, I'm a little confused. Does that imply that they're still at war with some of these Russian little states? Yeah, Buryatia, this is the one that I played before. Definitely a lot of interesting ones. The ones that people definitely talked to me a lot about were the Western Russian Revolutionary Front. They talked about Omsk here. Who's the one who's got that czar? Yeah, Mikhail II, Chita, over there. There's the Free Aviators with the witches. That's super fun. Comey was another one that came up a lot. What the heck was that? Anyone else hear that jingle? Is that my computer? Huh. Anyway, yeah, so there's definitely a lot of interesting Russians out here, and then of course the potential Messiah has not even sprung up yet, I think. Yeah, the Great Father. And also, one of the fun things, so Gibraltar has a dam here. I forget if it's actually done or if it's like in disrepair or whatever, but there was this long-term plan to kind of drain the Mediterranean, so that's why you'll see here the borders look really different, because the sea level is lowering here in there, because there's one there, and then there's one over here in the Suez, so yeah, just draining it, and so Italy and Illyria are virtually linked. Oh, did the war begin? Or oh, no, I forget what the heck it is that's going on in the French state. I think it's just like a demilitarized zone here between them and Himmler. Jean-Louis Ticle-Vignancourt. Huh. Which has a non-aggression pact with the Principality of Andorra. Okay. So, yeah, let's speed it up now. We're going to get going for real. And just wait for some things to happen. Oh yeah, who do we want in charge of our guy here? Maxwell Taylor, yeah? Oh, he's kind of old guard. Maybe Robert Porter? I don't know if that would count. Here we go. The end of the missile crisis. So we heard about this in episode 1. For the past several weeks, the United States has been embroiled in a crisis with Japan. Our former jewel in the Pacific, Hawaii, has been turned into a staging point for Japanese medium-range ballistic missiles, which were discovered by a CIA U-2C spy plane not long ago. After a tense standoff between the USN First Fleet and the Imperial Japanese Navy, Vice President Kennedy approached the empire with an offer. The United States would remove its own MRBMs from Australia in return for the Japanese doing the same in Hawaii. After several rounds of tense negotiations, this offer was accepted, despite the urging of the Joint Chiefs, who argued that it was the perfect time to reclaim America's lost territory. The doves prevailed, and today both sides are removing our missiles. This has been a major diplomatic coup for Kennedy, who is being hailed across the nation as a hero for his actions in the crisis. President Nixon, on the other hand, mostly stayed out of the negotiations and has been widely criticized for such. We've staved off midnight, for now. That would, of course, be reference to the 2 minutes to midnight, the thing that says we're going to nuclear war and whatnot. There's like a Poland in exile here. Yeah, Nowa Polska. That's kind of fun. The bizarre dictatorship. I hear Poland has got some blessed and wholesome and big chungus Reddit paths. I don't really know the details, though. Casting off. With a compass in hand and butterflies in stomach, he gazed off towards the visage of Anchorage, rapidly shrinking away into the horizon. This is up here. A game of cards and a hearty serving of alcohol had certainly done wonders to feed his excitement and wanderlust while they were docked in port, but he had to admit it was hard to get yesterday's goodbyes out of his mind. His mother's reaction had not surprised him, a quiet bout of sobbing and a laundry list of demands as they stood before the front door. She had been nervous for weeks, and in all that time he had done his best to reassure her. This was something he needed to do. He would take all available precautions. He would have all the necessary documents. It was a conversation that seemed to never end. No, he had resolved any lingering strife with Mom. It wasn't her that was spawning such remorse in his sea-bound heart. Surprisingly, it was Dad. To say his father was an enigma would be an understatement. Childhood memories existed beyond count. Missed baseball games, absent birthday parties, one-word responses to kindergarten art pieces, and the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Anyway, it was not that Dad didn't care at all, per se. From time to time, he would show his affection, teach his sons to replace a flat tire or two. The problem was consistency, or lack thereof. At any moment, Dad might disappear into the basement again, or a car would pull out of the driveway and return hours after family dinner had ended. He never knew what to make of it. Perhaps the war had simply taken too large a toll, creating a man who could only function on whiskey and lonesome hours. So when Dad burst into tears in front of the taxi, launched into a bear hug, and handed his son a compass and pistol subtly before the car door closed, he couldn't help but feel shaken. Was he really making the right decision if it could affect a man such as that so greatly? Ultimately, he brushed the thought away and returned below deck. There was no turning back, and he had a great and exciting adventure laid out before him. He would return alive, and ultimately change for the better. Time to find what's out there. Ooh, how interesting. German moon landing! Germany today proudly announced to the world that a German was the first to ever step on the moon. Yeah, it's just like Nixon's just like, oh, look what they've done now. Sound like a dog now. Using a rocket based on the A9-A10 design from World War II, and is a member of a team led by acclaimed scientist Werner von Braun, successfully landed along with a team predominantly made up of former Luftwaffe pilots. Kollner, on live television broadcast Goldly, snapped a smart salute to the flag of the Reich with the Earth visible in the backdrop, a photo which is spread across the globe thanks in no small part to German propaganda. Jubilant celebrations began almost immediately across Germany. Incidentally, this is a real-life guy who I think he ended up living in... Was he in West Germany or in East Germany? No, he was in East Germany. But anyway, I think that's the one who we're talking about here. So, President Nixon has publicly vowed that the race shall continue and that NASA is already making preparations for a permanent human presence on the moon in the form of a lunar colony. The president's announcement was quickly followed by one from Japan who stated that they will land on Mars. That is so how it really is. So, like, I've studied space, like the history of space travel and stuff, and you know what? It really can just, the space race in our own timeline can really be summed up so well with it was like a check mark list thing, and on the you had on each part of the list you had the American flag and the Soviet Union flag, and it's like first man into space, check, and it was like on the Soviet side, first docking in space, or you know what I mean, just like all there's like 10 things in a row. Soviet Union does it first, Soviet Union does it first, Soviet Union does it first, so sending a woman, all this stuff. And then at the end, first to land on the moon, and that's the one United States check mark. Is like, we won, guys. And so it's like, it's just classic. It's that moving the goalposts debate fallacy thing. So it's just like, oh, they landed on the moon. Well, that doesn't count. It's whoever can actually form a colony on the moon. That's what counts as winning. So you just put that goalpost on a dolly and you keep it moving, baby. So anyway, despite President's insistence that the race is not over, the American public has taken the news poorly. Although America managed to get the first astronaut into space, public confidence in the space program is at an all-time low, as fewer Americans than ever look to the night sky with a sense of explorative awe. We begrudgingly congratulate Mr. Kolner. Or like another example, like I've seen so many documentaries where it'll be talking about some sort of important feat in the space race's history, and so like it just depends on what nationality you are. That's when that almost seems to determine when you've decided the space age begun. So you could talk about the Americans or the Soviet Union, but I've seen stuff where they once were interviewing a German scientist who was on Werner von Braun's team and that rocket they launched in Denmark, and so of course he says that was the beginning of the space age. And it's just check the passport, and that'll tell you what they believe. Assassin strikes at Hitler. CIA assets. We're not going to read all this. After the celebrations, there was an attempt that failed. The Germans are claiming it was someone who belonged to the Japanese. The situation has begun to recover. Martial law is still in effect in Germania, and suddenly the Reich seems much weaker. In Washington, this raises the question, how can the Germans maintain their new world order when they can hardly handle themselves? As one eagle falls, another rises. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at the decisions tab. Actually, there's a couple things we haven't. So here, so we've got our CIA budget here, and we can pick researches for it: training, analysis, political landscape. Now, is that related to this? Yeah. Okay, no. This is it. So this is a whole side thing which we're going to look at later. So the political landscape. Even in the best of times, American politics has never been particularly transparent. Now, with the U.S. facing its most pressing hour, the chaotic shifting of party sympathies and allegiances is inevitable. We have prepared a situation report to the best of our abilities. The Republican-Democrat Party is ready for anything. The National Progressive Party is working together well. American society is somewhat united, which will have no significant electoral effects. The Republicans and Democrats are currently voting together. The Yankees and MPP far-right are currently voting together. The MPP left and MPP center are currently voting together. There are currently 85 Republican Democratic senators, of which 45 are Republicans, 40 are Democrats. There are currently 13 National Progressive senators, of which 5 are center NPP and 8 are far-right NPP. 0 are Yankees, 0 are left NPP. Free elections are what truly make America the last bastion of freedom. Each state, okay, this is just how American politics work. Each state elects 2 senators every 6 years. Yes, well, there are only 2 major parties, the RDs and the MPP. Each has its own factions within their own popularities. While the popularity of each party is essential for victory, it's meaningless if party unity is insufficient to stop different blocs from voting for an opposing candidate whose policies are closer matched to their own. The party's choice of candidate depends on the strength of each faction, and party popularity can be improved through regional campaigning. However, there's always a chance that a campaign effort can go awry. The President of the United States is not directly elected by the American people. Instead, Americans elect a slate of state electors based on population size to vote for a candidate on their behalf. While party popularity is important in presidential elections as well, members of a faction are far more likely to vote for a candidate who shares their views. So, we can increase unity. Congressional situation, 85 votes, more than enough to pass laws. State of the Supreme Court, very conservative, 6 conservatives and 3 liberals. Okay, obviously we don't have political power to do any of that stuff here. I guess let's look up a research thing. I don't know how much I want to go into the CIA. Huh. Okay, and then, before I forget, and then we'll end today's episode, let's take a peek at the government. What does it say? Government and voting GUI. So you can see most of the nation is the Republican Democratic Party, and you can see the specific breakdowns. I like that Hawaii is here, but they don't, they're not part of the union, so they don't really count. And then it shows who belongs to what party from the different areas. So like Oregon has Senator Mark Hatfield, who's a Republican from the RD party, as one senator, and their other senator is Maureen Newberg from the center faction of the MPP. A couple of far rights down here in Alabama. Okay. Yeah, there's the party split and all that, so we can periodically check back in on this. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games, and I will see you in the next episode.